These plants have so many issues. I really wish I had a plant expert.
I can help.
No, I was kind of hoping for Dr. SPG actually.
No worries. You called for Dr. SPG?
That's more like it.
All right, let's have a look at your plants. Urgent care for this one.
Yeah.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to Dr. SPG. That's me.
I'm so honoured. I'm so honoured.
It's been about a year that I did the last house visit where we looked at all of your indoor plants. And I've definitely given you a few plants in the meantime. We've definitely culled a few plants in the meantime. And I think overall we have perfected the strategy on what kind of plants do well over here and the kind of display that we're aiming for, if that makes sense. So,
and a lot based on the lighting conditions, right?
Exactly. So I think today we are in a position to have a look at all of your plants, check in on how they're doing, see if they need anything. I brought all of my supplies. I have spare moss poles, potting mix, poles. Hopefully make all of your plants thrive, clean them up, style them, you know, assess whatever they need. And it's almost like a bit of a consultation, right? So maybe you guys are in the same position as Timmy, where you have a plant, you don't really know what's wrong with it.
And I don't do it as a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully maybe my troubleshooting with your plants today can be useful for the viewers. So we thought, let's take you along. Before we look at all of the plants, we're going to take the plants out one by one because we've got beautiful lighting over here. So, and it's right in front of the aircon. It's a hot day today. Yeah. So I like our little workstation over here. But maybe, Timmy, do you want to tell us a little bit about your, like the conditions, right? It's always conditions and care. Yeah, the conditions are set by whereabouts you live. And then really Dr. SPG comes in when it comes to care, right? Yeah. So what are we dealing with over here? Because pretty much most of the plants you grow are in frame right now. Yeah. There's just some over there.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to talk us through this?
So I guess there's two elements to it. One is the amount of light and when they get the light during the day. And I think the second thing is I quite often have the back doors open. So I'm getting a lot of airflow through here, which is great for the plants, great for me, but it does tend to dry out the moss poles a lot faster. So when it's warm and dry, I probably only get 2 days out of the moss poles. And I think part of that is because I've got such mature leaves that they're actually they're actually using a lot of the water. It's not so much a case of they're just drying out. The plants are actually soaking up the water. So what I'm finding is I'm having to water more regularly, but smaller amounts just to keep the poles moist. And I'm probably only adding GT.
But you're already going into care. I think, it's a great point because I thought I'd go on about conditions in care like a broken record because I talk about it in every video and I force you to watch all of my videos. Yeah. But obviously,
it just goes in 1 ear and out the other.
Exactly. So really, when I was asking for conditions, it's more like the back door that you were talking about is north facing. So that in Australia is the equivalent of south facing in the northern hemisphere, right? Yeah. So a lot of light, basically. Yeah. That's what the main thing. In summer, we don't get all too much direct light coming in because the sun is quite high up in the sky. Whereas in winter, the sun is kind of moving this way. Yeah. So the sun moves into the room quite a lot, right? Yeah. So because that's your main window over there. And I put it in via B-roll earlier. And then, of course, you've got this big window over here. But this is east facing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So the sky window gets a lot of light during the morning.
During the morning,
Yeah. And then it obviously changes over the course of the day, but what I have done is supplemented with a grow light to start with in the area that's got, I guess, the thickest leaf plants and the most dense to try and give them an extra chance.
I've brought a few more grow lights with me as well that I don't use anymore at the moment. That came from my rescue section where I overwinter the plants because if we're panning through this is kind of the living area. You've got that little skylight over there, but that's not really going to do much.
No.
Yeah? So this whole area of the house is quite dark. So I think it would be nice to maybe bring a little bit of greenery in there as well. So I brought some of my old grow lights with me that I don't use in the rescue section anymore. On this side, I think the problem is not so much the lack of light. I think the problem is the light exposure. It's actually quite true to nature. It comes from above, right? But it doesn't make for great displays because all of these plants on this side basically want to face this way.
Yeah.
Right? They want to face the light, which comes from above and the back.
Whereas I want to see them coming towards me.
I think that is the main challenge that we're facing over here when it comes to conditions. It's not the light intensity, it's the direction of the light. And we're having a challenge with displaying the plants as a result of it, right? Because they always want to face away from us rather than face us.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned you have the doors open quite a lot. So I suppose that would just, airflow, which is good, but lowish humidity, right? Yeah. But then we have quite humid days in Sydney as it is. So I don't think in the grand scheme of things you have like a crazy low humidity in here. No. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
It's the airflow.
I think it's the airflow.
And the plants sucking.
And the high light exposure in the morning, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of people, like I have a lot of plants that get no direct sun exposure ever. They only get a little bit of grow light and that's about it. Grow lights don't produce heat in the same way that sun would produce heat and stuff.
Yeah, true.
Also, we should have probably mentioned, Timmy lives literally down the road from me. So in the grand scheme of things, we actually have the same conditions. My garden is also north facing. My big window is also north facing. I just have a few more trees. But I think in the grand scheme of things, from a conditional perspective, we're more similar than we're different. I think the main difference is the exposure of light. Yeah. I have all of my light done via grow lights coming from kind of the center of the room, whereas yours is all coming from mainly this skylight over here. Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay, shall we take a look at some plants?
Yes, so I think that gives you a little bit of a idea. Why don't we set this up as like a little repotting table because it's going to get dirty. Maybe we move your beautiful chairs out of the way.
Okay.
And then we look at each plant one by one and we look at what it needs, what we do about it. We're taking it outside, we're hosing it down, watering it thoroughly. Clean plants are healthy plants. And then we can move them back and arrange them and we can talk a little bit about
I'm open to rearranging. Right?
Yeah, we can talk about the styling aspect a lot as well because I've had a lot of comments from you guys saying that it's actually very nice to know the thought process behind the styling and how I style my plants and all of that. So maybe that's of use for you guys as well. So
layering.
Yeah, so I think, maybe we just narrate our thought process behind how we style the plants.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do that.
Let's move these.
What have we got?
To Epiprenum.
Cebu Blue, Pinnatum Cebu Blue, yes. This pole is actually really, really old.
Yeah, I know.
This would be like 2-3 years old, but it's still going strong. Now you can see here, basically all of the Cebu Blues in Tim's garden and my garden, all of them would have come from this pole originally. See, like where we chopped here, for example, and then it just reshoots. So we always repurpose these things. But they're looking really nice. I really like them.
I was saying I much prefer the juvenile in the Cebu Blue. A bit like the one outside. Like the lower leaves have got this beautiful, greyish, silver.
Like here, all of these.
Colour to them.
Yeah, I do prefer them as well. Now, I think with your place, I mean, we'll see because we can unlock new corners with the grow lights now. But historically, I think it was here.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yep.
So the problem with this plant was always that the light came kind of from the back. So that's why we aim for more lush pole, 360 degrees. Obviously, one of the shoots has matured a little bit more, which is okay. But I think we can cut some of these older leaves off. They have a bit of scale as well.
Yes, there's a lot of surprise guests there on the back of these leaves.
We just chop the leaves, no?
Oh, okay.
Don't you think? I mean, the leaf isn't looking that nice anymore. No. If the leaf is still nice, then we can try and recover it. But if the leaf is a bit manky anyway... Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, this is a smorgasbord too of pests. It's got Mealybug, it's got scale.
Okay, well we're gonna go and treat it. But if they have visual damage already anyway, then I think there's no point. That's okay, it just gives this a little bit of space to climb up. What we can do, would you like to chop between the stem as well so it reshoots more frequently?
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to do it? Okay.
Oh, you can do it here, just do it.
Okay.
And just in one shoot, that's enough.
I just leave a gap, right?
Yeah, do that. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting that is because I think this is a good plant that could go back into your living room over here. Now, the reason why I think this plant would be better here, it's not a good idea to put it in the in their bedroom, is because in your bedroom it's very dark, or like the guest room, right? It's very dark. And yes, we have that one mother light there now coming from the front, but this is a plant that doesn't have necessarily one distinct display site, and we're not really aiming for maturity. So really, if we're not aiming for maturity, so we're not really wanting to extend this pole over and over again. What we're aiming for is a lush pole. So this one, I don't think it's in frame anymore. Oh my God, Bailey, she's playing with the turtle.
It's a toy turtle, it's not a real turtle.
Yeah, not a real turtle, but she just threw it at you guys. Once this reaches the top, we're not going to extend it, we're going to trail it back down. If we trail it back down, it's going to usually trail on the opposite side, right? This is going to reshoot over here. So we already have established a really good base where this plant is looking lush from all sides. So it's perfect to put in a spot like this, and you just rotate it every 2 weeks or so. Now, pests. That's what we wanted to quickly address as well. Have a look at this. Can you see this little black thing there? There's more down here. There at the front over here as well, this little dome, right? So the dome in itself is not the scale. The scale is little insects underneath the dome. They just built that little dome for protection. See these black dots over here on both sides? I don't know if they're visible. What I usually do there is I put like a little bowl together with neem oil and soap and like a little brush to brush your fingers, and then I just scrub them off. But if there's too much scale on a leaf, I honestly just cut it off. I personally have had a hard time actually trying to fight scale unless I just go and just chop leaves off. So and I find scale a lot on monsteras usually, like, and strelitzias and so on. I think that's quite common. I think we chopped off all of the leaves that had biofilming light. Sauce if it's a bit darker now. So I think we don't need to treat this for scale because I think we chopped off all of the leaves that had scale, but please keep an eye on it. And if you do see more scale, don't wait too long. Because then you end up having to cut more leaves. Instead, go and don't just pick them off with your fingers. You're just removing the little dome. You're not actually fighting the pest. All right. And I think we can put we can put it out in the garden, and we're just going to hose it down so it's clean and watered thoroughly.
Can I suggest, why don't we, rather than putting them out there in the heat now, we put them in a pile here, and then we do them all in one go outside.
Yeah, we can do that. Alrighty, what have we got here?
We have our standard peace lily.
Wow. I don't think it's a standard one, that's the large one. I think the standard one is not the large one. It looks quite healthy, quite root bound actually.
Do you want to show people how root bound it is?
Your plant, come on.
So you can see how root bound it is here. And luckily, I use clear pots, and I even take the stickers off. Yes, it's doing exceptionally well. It doesn't take a lot of care. It's like your basic supermarket, like bit of green you pick up.
Yeah, it's the large. It's looking really healthy. Look, I actually have never grown one of those, so I have nothing to say. But I think it's one of those plants that can handle a little bit lower light conditions. Right? Where did you get that one from?
Well, I've moved it to next to my desk. It used to be sort of more in the center of the room. So it does actually, it doesn't need a lot of light.
I was about to say, I think this is a good candidate for the center of the room. Now I'm almost thinking we're going to bonsai it. So we're going to keep it in that pot. I mean, we could give it a larger pot.
I don't want to give it another pot.
Yeah, because I mean, a larger pot, it would start growing more and probably larger, but I don't think...
To be honest, it's just a filler.
It spreads quite a lot. Right?
I'm not wedded to this plant, so...
Perfect. Let's just clean it and make sure that it's really, it's because it's quite dusty. Very dusty, actually. So especially if we're putting it in a lower light spot, it gets access to obviously less light, so it has a harder time photosynthesizing. So if you then have dust on top of that, if we then have dust on top of that, that's obviously going to impact the plant's performance. But really nice, really well grown, well done. What have we got here?
We've got a spinetnum riddled with spider mites.
Philodendron gloriosum. It's actually the last surviving piece of DNA from my original gloriosum.
Really?
I bought that gloriosum, I think in like the second month of collecting plants. I had that before my Milano.
McPherson?
Yeah, before my Milano, before my Verrucosum. Philodendron gloriosum was one of my first plants actually, but it never grew well for me. My version of the DNA already died because I put it in the garden and it hated it. The reason I put it in the garden is because it's always full of spider mites. Do you want to show everybody what spider mite damage looks like?
Here's one I made earlier.
Yeah, have a look at this.
You can see all the like little white.
I think you're too close. Yeah, this is better. Yeah,
well, I'm so blind I can't see.
Look at all of the yellow dots. Like that's where the spider mites just suck on it. So it grew quite well until we had the spider mites. So
and it was tiny when you gave me this.
Yeah,
it had one leaf. It's subsequently grown this whole.
Yeah, but the other issue is also it's growing kind of out of the pole.
Yeah.
So you might have not positioned it very strategically with the light.
Right.
Because it's going to grow towards the light. So let me guess. You had it sitting like this in this window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it obviously wants to crawl towards the window. So you should have probably put it this way so it crawls along the surface of the pot.
Yeah, but then it takes up too much space on my desk.
Yeah, but then maybe you need to find a different spot for it.
Okay.
In itself, I'm not mad about it growing off the pot of this side, but obviously this is a node that could grow roots into the pot and establish a larger root system, which is going to be really helpful when we do the next step of chopping it up, no?
Are we?
Well, what are we going to do with it? Like, I mean, these
Let's focus on the plants I really like first.
The plants that you really like are going to get their spider mite infestation brought to you by this plant. You know what I mean? So,
did you bring your spider mite?
No.
Chisel?
No.
No, okay.
I didn't bring it. But I also think that these leaves are quite far gone. Again, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but in real life, they're more yellow than they're green, actually. I think my recommendation over here would be either chop off the infested leaves so that when it grows new leaves, those new leaves don't become infested straight away and or the spider mites don't keep going. You're not going to...
I don't think we get to keep any leaves that way.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. The other option is just remove it from the immediate danger of having it spread spider mites to all the other plants, right? Well, so if you have this amongst all your other plants, they will all get spider mites for sure.
So maybe I move it to out the front.
How do you feel about maybe trying to put it in the ground in your garden?
No, because I think I've got enough stuff there. Let's just put
it's a nice crawler along the floor.
Yeah.
And it's very different. You don't have any heart-shaped leaves like that.
True.
We could put it crawling underneath the heliconias.
That's a good idea.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like that. So, here we have Philodendron Florida. And this has been a long-term survivor. This has to be probably 6 years old.
Also one of my first plants that
you got rid of.
It grew so large in my place. I was still in my apartment at the time. Like it would literally spread like 1 meter in this direction, 1 meter in that. So I gave it to you, you put it in your garden, it got absolutely burned. We rescued like a little stump. You can see these are the original stems. And now they've just been reshooting, but I haven't really done much in 2 years.
No.
Do you want to show everybody what Mealybugs looks like? Well, I was like,
that's not bad.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show them.
Okay. Mealybugs look like this little white thing. I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera. Like this here, and there's some here, and there's some here. And look, it's even got some on the front. So it's
You're really proud of that. Mealybugs, to be honest, I'm not very good at treating mealybugs because it's never really been an issue for me. But I think contender spray works against them. So I think it has a little mealybug on it. So we just sprayed with that. Now this leaf, have a look. This leaf was kind of stuck like that. Whoop.
You just cut my new leaf.
Hang on, for a reason. So see how the top bit of the leaf, this bit, has already aborted itself, and how it's not really wanting to unfurl.
What's in there, mealies?
Yes. So if a new leaf doesn't want to unfurl or doesn't unfurl for a really long time, I often go ahead and unfurl it myself, and I would say 9 out of 10 times I find a lot of spider mites, mealybugs or whatever. They love the new leaves, right? They're the fresh, exciting leaves. I mean, it's like when you eat lettuce, you want the fresh lettuce leaves, not the old ones that are kind of like hanging on the dirt. So if a leaf takes a long, long time to unfurl, even though we're in the middle of the growing season, you're watering it perfectly fine, the humidity is good, I would always check for pests, and then I would rather get rid of the new leaf because it's not going to recover. You know what I mean? It's not going to then have the new leaf now infest the rest.
But this is getting a lot of new leaves because I've positioned this in front of the grow light.
Nice.
And it's actually doing really well.
Yeah, I think the problem is that we have like a few plants up here and then a few plants down here, but they need to bridge the gap. So either these need to start trailing down again or these need to grow up. But of course, if every new leaf is constantly attacked by pests, I think, and I know it's a little bit more effort, but you probably like once a week or so should, maybe not all plants every week, but maybe like, okay, say this corner for this week, you take them out, you hoist them down properly. Like it might not eradicate the pests, but it physically removes them so that they cause less damage, right? It flushes out the medium, it flushes out the moss pole, it aerates the medium and so on as well. So I know that you're good with your bottle upside down technique and you've gotten better at not having it sit in water. You know, I think last time we did Dr. SPG, that was your main thing. You were watering with way too much volume. Now the plant is healthy, we're not suffering through root rot as much, but I think you're just not diligent enough with the pest treatment. And once you've got them, it's just like worse and worse and worse, you know what I mean? You know,
try and get rid of them.
Exactly. So the best approach is to just kind of proactively stay on top of them by proactively always keeping them clean. Alrighty, what have we got here, Mr.?
Mycons?
Gigias.
Okay, Gigias.
Gigias. Now this is actually our second attempt at Gigias. I already gave you the bottom part of the previous chop and that did absolutely nothing and got destroyed by spider mites. Now, the reason why we decided to try again is because I think this is just the perfect plant to work with your... Hang on, we have scissors here.
Okay.
This is the perfect plant to work with Timmy's setup. We've got 2 moss poles on here, and each moss pole has 2 shoots. So we've got 1 shoot here, 1 shoot here, 1 shoot here, and 1 shoot here, which means we've got 4 shoots on all sides of the pole. Right? This pole looks good from all sides. We've got a new leaf coming in here.
There's a few leaves.
We've got a new leaf coming in here.
And around the back.
And here. I think, and here. So all 4 have reshot.
Through my diligent care.
And you haven't had this for too long. I think I only did the chop and extend sometime in winter. So it's only now reshooting because we're finally having good conditions again. The goal here is definitely to just keep having a lush pole, trailing it up and down. Because the way that you've got your window there, we also can't go too tall. We actually have
because it's angled.
We only have a few extended poles, but we can't go that high. Plus, once the leaves get that high, they reach the window and they burn. So we actually need to find plants that are small, compact and lush, rather than finding plants that mature with one display side. So we're growing the same plants, but we're growing them in very different ways. Right? I aim for maturity and I aim for that display side. You aim for a lush 360 degree pole instead. So when I chopped that one, despite having had initial challenges with it, I thought let's just give it another chance because visually it should work really well. We just need to find out if it likes the conditions. Most importantly, we need to find out if we can stay on top of pests.
I don't think this has any pests.
I can't see any, but again, I think we should get in the habit of acting proactively. Not treating it, just cleaning it. Just cleaning it thoroughly, front and back, out there, letting it dry and then moving it back.
Okay.
And you can do that when you do watering. Like today, for example, I wouldn't have watered anything this morning because if we do a full day of plant care, I know that my full day of plant care ends up with all of my plants outside and I water and hoist and clean them all in one go. So you're actually creating more work for yourself here. You could have done less this morning. What have we got?
Splendid.
Splendid, yes. So this is also... Why is it on this thick pole? Did we do that?
Yeah.
Ah, this is actually a bottom part of mine. This has been a long time with you, right?
Yeah.
I think we used to have 2 poles and we stitched them next to each other, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We did moss pole stitch way earlier than I expected.
It's a retro.
I think it's looking really good. It actually exceeded the pole and then started growing all of this off of the pole.
We see the roots starting to just pop out a little bit on this one.
And I don't know, it'll probably abort this leaf, I guess. And then this other cutting, you can see that, hopefully you can see there, that it's got little white shoots coming out from the previous roots it had. So this is chopped from the top of the pole.
So the reason why we did that is because it was growing off and it actually beheaded itself, didn't it? It was getting so heavy because I would have actually loved to trail it back down. But the stem actually snapped because it got too heavy. So we should have trailed it down and supported it on here a little bit earlier. But, you know, shit happens. It's okay. We can propagate it, put it back into the pot. I have an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to keep it in that spot, we can't go higher because it's reaching the window already. But if you want to back that one into a corner and support it with a grow light, then we could actually put an extension on and aim for maturity over here. But we can probably only do that with 2 or 3 plants because we don't have that many grow lights that have any corners. So,
and it'd have to be a double grow light.
yes.
Right.
I'm just saying it's an option, right?
Yeah.
I think this one is a better option than the Cebu Blue.
Yeah.
I think the Cebu Blue, because growing 360 degree around the moss pole, perfect plant for this position over here. This one is actually a perfect plant to back up into a corner.
Yeah, true.
Because then the plastic is just facing the corner.
So maybe this in the front room.
Yeah, or we could put that in that corner over there, you know, something that has a little bit more impact.
Yeah.
I think maybe we put it on the side as one of the candidates to maybe extend, right? Because we can maybe extend 1 or 2 plants. Most of them will have to stay small.
It's the first one I've seen that I'm interested in extending. So,
and we know that they have a good time sizing up as well.
Yeah.
So, but we need to chop off a few ugly leaves, I think.
Yes.
Anything else
That
on
one's
the chop?
manky. That
Which
one you got in your hand.
This one is manky too. Look at that. They're also very dusty. Have a look. So definitely we need to clean these.
Incoming Manjula.
Pretty newish for you.
Very newish.
Very newish. So
Flourishing.
yeah, that's the bottom part of my most recent chop and extend. My top has actually not done as well as your bottom pole has. But because Manjula is somewhat of a slow climber, it's been on this pole for quite a long time.
A long time. It's an old pole.
Do you want to show them the reshoots at the top? So there was just 1 plant on there, but the last 2 nodes have both reshot. This is 1 reshoot from the top node, and then this is another reshoot from the second top node. Now, I don't think we should extend this. It's a plant on an open style moss pole, and you know mine that I have, that I grow 360 degrees around it. I think it just looks so stunning. I think with this plant, maturity doesn't necessarily make the plant look better. I think the variegation makes this plant look good. And I actually think these size leaves, they are decently mature actually for Manjula. Keep in mind they will go a little bit smaller when we trail it back down. But I think over here, just do nothing, let it grow a little bit. And once the stem is large enough to manipulate, we start pinning it down.
Okay, on this side.
When it's dehydrated.
Yeah.
So then we have 2, 1 going around on each side, right?
Yeah.
So we take, and then once they start rooting into the pole a little bit more, we can start chopping more. I actually think we should start chopping more now. Yes, let's do that.
All right.
So do you want to show everybody the roots? Because they're really good roots.
So we've got, look at these. Very thick, sturdy roots. And we've got this one here. And then on the other side, and then interestingly, I don't know if you can pick it up with the camera. I'm trying to get the right position. But you can see all these sort of, what do I call them? Securing roots?
Anchoring.
Anchor, that's the word I was looking for. I'm not sure if you can see them, but anyway. Pester him about it later and ask him.
Now, these thick roots all come from nodes that are quite high up on the pole, and they make their way all the way back into the pot, which means that that top part is sufficiently supported by roots. So I'm thinking we chop a few more cuttings.
Okay.
So that the plant can reshoot from below as well. And then some can start growing up the pole, right?
Yeah,
and then, then they
that would be
meet,
good,
right?
yeah.
Do you want to chop a few? So I can actually just do B-roll with my phone, no? Alrighty. What have you done? So one chop here, so hopefully this node reshoots here. I like that you went with double node cuttings.
Yeah,
it's more secure.
You've said double nodes better.
I think maybe you can do one more here. We're not worried about the setback in maturity, right? Because we're not aiming for maturity. Instead, we're aiming for a lush result. And with every cut that we make,
Look at the roots that came out with just that tiny little piece.
nice. With every cut we make, we add another plant to the display. Should we maybe work on the stability issue for this pole though? Yeah. So the problem here is that down here, the pole was extended once. So this is actually, the first extension is here. That's why I always say make as little chop and extends as possible. Have just one joint between the two.
Yeah.
So every joint is a weak spot. So the weak spot coming out of the pot, so it's a bit of an issue. Yeah, see how this is a bit of an issue?
We need a thicker stake and deeper, don't we?
Do you have a bigger garden stake?
Yeah, but I think it's too big. It's the one we
Well,
took
we can
out of.
chop it. I think this would just give it significantly
Okay,
more
and then I can
stability.
salvage these.
Yeah. Hey, baby. Come here. Hello.
Okay, for a sec, just like that.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, I know. You're paying so much attention to these stupid plants. What about you, huh? What about you? Oh
See?
my god, that was so cool.
I know.
And you can even put the orange thing back on here, I reckon.
So that looked good.
I like it.
Yeah.
What?
It. Yeah.
What do you think about these bottom leaves over there? This one's looking a little sad, no?
Yeah, kill it.
Can we just chop around the edge? Do you
Okay,
have scissors? Just keep in mind, these leaves would be so old. I think these leaves are still from my old house, and I've lived at my new house for 2 years now. Not even that new.
Okay.
Looks good. Should we switch it up a bit and talk about non-moss poles for once?
Yeah.
Let's take these two. So sometime last year, I had to cull a few plants, right? And I gave you plants that I think work well with your setup. We've got the window coming from above, so it makes sense to have a lush plant instead of having a tall plant with one display side, have a lush display. So I don't have many spaces where I can make use of these sort of lush plants, but I really like them, and I propagated them in water for so long and I just didn't know what to do. And then I thought, you know what, I think I'll have a better time at Timmy's.
I'll offload them to Timmy.
So I gave him a lot of these plants, and look, if editing Jan can find the footage of what I looked like before I gave it to him, he'll put it in.
Yes.
Got Timmy in the house. Hi guys. Alrighty. So, the plants I've had in the forest, they were so root bound. I just put them in bigger pots for you.
Okay.
Because you know on your little credenza under the skylight, this will be perfect for that because they don't have a growing site. You know what I mean? The problem with you is when you have the poles, you want the leaves to face into the room, but the light comes from the back. So your poles always go, you know? These ones will be perfect.
How they go? Okay.
These ones will be perfect, and they require watering like once a month or something. Okay. And this is a good plant for you to look after as well because it doesn't need much watering.
No, it's
How often
very
do you think you water it?
Probably once a fortnight.
Yeah, and you do the little crunch test, right? Like
no, I don't.
Well, if these...
I wait till they start to curl up.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's what you
That's what I mean. Like if they curl up and you do this a little bit, like see how they have like no structural integrity right now? We can water them. Whereas this one...
has structural integrity?
Yeah. This one has a lot more like rigidness still. I actually don't have a piece of this plant myself anymore. And
well, play
I miss
your cards
it.
right and you might
I
get
miss
to have
it.
some back.
So one day I would love to take some propagation because this is actually my favorite Scindapsus. I think this is the Saturn, this is the Argyraeus, and then over here we've got a Pothos Enjoy. But again, I think this is just a perfect plant for the setup. I think it would be good to give them a little clean, but apart from that, they look super, super healthy. And I think they are a great example of, you know, if I would have asked Tim, you were actually a little bit, not pissed off at me when I brought them over, but you're like, I don't want them. They're not that pretty. They're not his type of plant. But I told him, it's like, honestly, a basic plant growing really, really well is going to look much better than a really beautiful plant like a Milano Chrysum that holds onto one leaf with 75 spider mites on it. You know what I mean? So nothing wrong with having a nice, basic, easy growing plant. It's the easiest way to get a plant to look lush. Ha! Oh, almost got you there. Wow, give me that turtle.
Oh my god, how bare does that look? It's so barren and boring without plants. Hey kids.
Is that your favorite turtle? I gave her that turtle. I'd make the best dog presents.
Oh shit.
What?
I just snapped one off.
Oh well, that's why we love to propagate.
Yeah, it's a bit manky.
Oh wow. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's growing crazy.
Now, what have we got, Timmy? Show us. Let's start with this one because this one is more manageable.
Yeah. So this is a Sodiroi.
It's the bottom part of my Sodiroi. When I chop it, sometimes there's roots going from the top to the bottom that are now rotting. They just shrivel up and that's it. You can pull them out or you can leave them in there. No concern. I've done a full video about my Sodiroi in the journey. And if you watch that, you know where this part came from. Same explanation as before. Timmy is looking for plants that are small, compact, and rather round and lush than really large with one display side. So this plant, because of the light exposure from the top, might not actually look that good from your perspective. It looks good when you look at it from that perspective. Yeah, so this offshoot is already thoroughly rooted into the pole, so we can chop down there again. Perfect. We always cut a little gap so that
it colours over.
See again, these are old roots from the top plant that was removed. Not a concern. You are asking about these little white things.
Yeah.
I think that's just mineral buildup. Could be a little bit of mold, but because of the old roots that are in here rotting, but that's fine.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, let's go. But yeah, like a small pole like that in my space wouldn't make any sense, right? Because it would kind of get lost. I don't really have a spot where I could put this and it still shines amongst all these huge plants that I've got. But in Timmy's space, on top of his little cabinet down there, like it actually looks really, really good. And it's a little bit lower, so you're also looking down on it. So you actually see the leaves better than you see right now on camera. Now what we've done here, again, we did not want to extend it because we already have an extended one. We wanted to grow a lush pole, but I think it's growing a little bit out of control. Alrighty, we had some memory card issues, but we're back, I believe, I hope. You want to show them?
That looks better.
I just twisted it around, really. Nice.
Nicely wrapped around.
It's looking a bit weird now, but keep in mind the leaves will change the exposure to
Adjust for their new position.
Yeah, adjust for the new position. Again, we're creating a lush pole around it rather than just one tall one. We already have a tall one.
Yeah,
huh?
that works. Okay.
And we've got this long vine over here that I just cut into a few bits. I would actually like to take this home with me and I would like to work on a juvenile trailing display of Splendid. Because I think they look so cute. It's given Myken's vibes, but a little bit special. It's too big for our table. What have we got here?
A plant. Can't remember. Not glorious.
Glorious, yes.
Oh.
Philodendron glorious. See, you know.
Oh, I did know it. Okay.
Bottom part of my chop. And I've given this one to you actually same day as I did the Manjula. So I did a whole video where I chopped the Glorious and the Manjula because one is on a round pole, one is on a plastic back pole, and I wanted to show you the differences and similarities in the process when chopping one plastic back pole and non-plastic back pole. So how long has it been? Hey, girlie, what have you got in your mouth? What are you eating?
Plants.
No, we played with the turtle instead, yeah? Go! Okay, would you like to show everybody the new shoot?
Yes.
Because it's so funny, when a plant like that reshoots, the first leaf is always kind of disappointing. Look at it. Lower, 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 lower. Yes, look at it. I love how you lowered your whole body instead of just the plant.
Well, because that's the only way I can hold it.
So you can see there's a thick shoot that it came from. A reshot. Now the unfortunate thing is that the reshoot sticks out like in the wrong direction.
Way, yeah.
I do think that Glorious would also be a glorious candidate for one of these bigger walls that you want to fill.
Yes.
You could have one plant that's a huge statement piece and fill a whole corner. So I think we should chop this plant in a few more spots.
Okay.
Because the stem is quite thick, but we have all of this empty pole.
That's the problem.
Right?
Yeah.
Have super long petioles. It's not the nicest bottom part of a pole to be receiving, but I gave you a piece of DNA. You got to do something with that DNA, right? Yeah. I just feel like we should take advantage of the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes that are rooted into this pole. So we could have 7 plants technically instead of having 1. I mean, the next leaf after this one is going to be significantly larger again, usually, right? So don't take this first leaf as an indicator. But I think it would be nicer if we have maybe just 2 or 3 that find the pole, because we still have a lot of pole that's available, and then extend it eventually and maybe have 2 plants growing up there and then giving it a proper spot.
Okay. Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think we need a knife for this one, it's so thick. Like the bottom parts are really never designed to just be put in your house and put on display, really. The bottom part is, the way I see it is always just like give somebody a kickstart, right? Instead of buying 1 single node cutting or 1 little plant, Timmy has 9 mature nodes that are going to grow mature pretty quickly again, because the thicker the stem, the thicker the shoot will be. So, I mean, this is its own plant. I think there is something, maybe keep this as a double node. So I would chop here. Just be careful to not chop into the petiole. So maybe you need to come in from behind. Yeah. Maybe cut here again. Do you want to get a cable tie and just secure this? Because this leaf over here is really pushing it to this side. So this whole cutting is going to twist. Now we have a double node, but the second node doesn't seem to have rooted really well. So we're just giving it a second anchoring point so that the cutting doesn't twist on the pole and all roots twist off, and then it's definitely never going to survive. With these sort of really thick cuttings, you're really waiting for the offshoot, and then you want that offshoot to root into the pole. Plants will always send growth hormones into the latest node. The growth hormones will also help with root growth. Not spider mites, that's good. So we've got this. We don't need to cut the little gap because it's too hard. You're making more damage than you're doing good. And this doesn't seem to have rooted really well, so I would not chop this again. I think there might be an idea in just tying these 2 together. You know what I mean? So they're a little bit
condensed.
So they don't take up too much space. And again, these leaves are old, you know, they're not going to look good for forever. Their purpose is really to now re-establish 2 or 3 shoots. And then we've got 2 or 3 shoots on this, and then we're going to give it a strategic light source, and then it's going to be good. So we're still working on we're still in the establishment phase over here, right? Still very early days for this plant, but you have a head start by having pretty mature DNA. So it's gonna mature quite fast. Extrafloral nectaries produce this little sugar that's attracting insects. It's a good thing. The plant is happy and healthy, but it can cause visual damage, so we want to clean it.
This is a variegated, I think peace lily. What do they call it? A Spathilium Domino. Si, senor.
Yeah. Now you can see it. It's nice. Yeah, it's cute. It's a pop of color or pop of white. Yeah. I think we can trim a few brownish leaves off, but overall nothing to do. definitely looks a little bit on the dusty side.
Yeah, it needs a hose.
But it is a really simple, easy plant.
Resilient. And it tells you when it needs watering,
Yeah.
because it's a bit like the Oxalis, like the leaves just go woof,
Yeah.
and then you give it a bit of water, and within 2 hours it's
You can put this one in the ground in the garden.
rejuvenated. Yeah, but it's I'm not sure if you can see.
hard
I'm
to
not used
see.
to using this camera. Yeah, but anyway, there's not a lot of soil in there, but I don't know. I don't think it needs it.
Now we just top it up a little
okay.
bit at the top. Just put, over time it compresses and decomposes. So just topping it up a little bit. We're not aiming for maturity over here or anything, we just want to keep it exactly
Keep
as
it
it is,
lush,
kind
yeah.
of. Huh?
Yeah.
So we're keeping it bonsai in this
Okay,
pot.
all right.
Beautiful.
Come on. No, I gave up on it.
Do you
I gave
wanna-
up on it.
Come on, show it, show it.
The
Tell
reason
us.
being that this has been a Mealybug factory. It doesn't matter how much contender I put on it. Like, you can even see it here. Like, it's
I think
still
most
got...
people actually use something different for it. They use like alcohol, no?
Oh, I don't know. I use alcohol for relaxation. Oh, see, that one's come off.
Okay, should we do something drastic?
Yeah,
Come here.
just chuck it out.
No, come
Like,
here.
I'm not interested in it anymore. It's just a Mealybug, like, nursery.
Why don't we...
Oh. Oh, jeez. Can we leave some?
You wanted to cut it, you wanted to throw it out, no?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to grow it back. Okay.
Look at the Mealybug. See it
Yes,
there?
okay, but these leaves were pretty... Yeah, there's mealybugs all over these leaves as well.
I've got to show people. Look at this.
That's why we're doing this.
Can you see that? Guys, can you see that in there?
That's why you were just treating the leaves, right? Here we go. Have a look at this in there. Yeah. So maybe we need to chop it back even further. Yeah, because we need to get in there, right?
Yeah.
And then I reckon you also put this in the garden. It was burnt, right?
I put it outside because I was just sick of it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think you should have put it in the front garden.
Oh, yeah?
That is less sunny.
Yeah, true.
And then there you go. It's also very, very heavy and moist. So
Yeah.
I think it doesn't drain really well,
Yeah.
and this pot is not very good. I would never recommend to pot directly into a planter. You really want to put this into a
It
pot.
was one of my self-bought items that I potted myself without supervision, and that's obviously the issue.
Yeah. Why don't you put this out in the front? Give it maybe one spray of contender for the
Okay.
mealybugs.
I'll do that later.
Don't water it because there's no leaves that use the
Yep.
water now, and
Okay.
there's plenty of potting mix. It's already way too soggy as it is.
Okay.
So don't water it for now, and just keep it somewhere shady.
Okay.
Turtle! I like turtles. Would you like to show us the ones from your bathroom? Because then we only have these 3 tall ones left.
Sure. Now, viewers, I was under threat of death if I killed this one. Apparently, it's the hardest plant to possibly grow. Must be kept in a moist condition. Mustn't get too much harsh light, and yeah, mustn't dry out. But anyway, I'm pleased to say that it is thriving under my care. As what are you going to chop?
Nothing yet.
No, you can't chop.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, but look, it's got these, as Yanni was saying, look at these nice furry petioles. They're just amazing.
What's the name of the plant, Timmy?
Oh, it's a Verrucosum. Yes. It's a Vero. And look at the face, the nice shiny red backs.
Red backs.
Yeah.
It's looking really good.
Isn't it?
So again, it's the bottom part of one of my many chops.
Yeah.
And you keep this one in your bathroom.
Yes.
So
For the
actually
moisture.
very low light in there. It's just one skylight.
Yeah, true.
The humidity would be high, but we decided against extending it because Verrucosums grow with very large internodal spacing.
We don't want
So you extend it very frequently, and really, I think it only makes sense if you aim for maturity. I think aim for maturity with any of the other plants we've seen so far, not necessarily Verrucosum. It's very challenging and requires a lot of continuous spider mite treatment. So I just figured for you in your low effort approach that we're trying to achieve these days.
Low effort, it's called normal effort.
Yes, okay.
Not full-time garden houseplant person.
Lowish effort. But this is a better option and it actually makes it look really nice and lush.
And I'm doing a great job.
So yeah, I mean, have a look. The plant is just kind of like twisting itself around and so on. It's a little bit messy, not necessarily the way that I often grow, but I think for the space, it looks really good. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have nothing to do over here, but we can't keep going with that approach forever either. Eventually it's going too leggy.
Yeah.
Like the Splendid that we saw earlier, it actually looked so cute when it had 1 or 2 leaves coming off the pole, right? But then obviously it keeps growing and suddenly it's 10 leaves off the pole and it no longer is like nice and perky but hangs somewhere down there. So I like that approach, but we can only do that for so long. Eventually, we have to chop it and kind of start again, right? So chopping is inevitable, but I think for now, we just keep it, no? Girlie, are you playing with a stone?
Oh, she loves rocks.
You love rocks?
Pieces of bark. Okay. Now, here we go. Here is a Syngonium.
I think you need to lower it a little bit so we can see it.
Okay.
Top is here.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking we could even chop this and then plant it in the hair, in the bottom. Oh, really? Oh. If you break it, I'm not going to be happy.
I didn't.
Huh?
I didn't break it.
So you're going to hold it like that the whole time? Yeah, I'll hold it. I've got it.
So as coming off the pole, I'm going to direct it down the pole. You're going to have to continuously do that, right? It's going to keep going like that, and then you pin it back and back and back. But yes, you are right. I think it's looking a little bit empty towards the bottom.
So I've taken some chops out of here and down here, and it is getting new signs of growth. Like,
I want to show a bit closer.
Yeah. So you can see there's one little spot there. It's got some new growth. Another here. Another here. Shut up. And this is actually going quite well. Look at this little sucker. So I'm really happy with that. The rest of it not doing so much, but oh, hang on, there's another little growth point there. So I'm basically nailing this without supervision. So I'm pretty pleased with it all up. So that can go to the watering pile.
You know, all the Syngoniums that are grown in the garden, if you watched the previous episode, they all came from that same propagation, and all of that comes from the bottom part of one of my old plants and so on, right? So everything we've seen so far was a result of chopping. So embrace the chop. So this Atabapoense has been the subject of pretty reasonable neglect. Oh my God, it's got scale everywhere. Was that scale? Is this scale? These things? Yes.
Oh. How does that get in there?
Hang on, you want to show everybody?
It's been sitting in my shower.
Show everybody. You want to show everybody the scale and this? Look at that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, on that stem.
And there's an ant. It's the bloody ants, you know.
Yeah, I think ants farm scale and mealybugs or something like that.
See, look at the size of this mealybug infestation behind here. Anyway, hideous. But it has actually come back from the dead. Like, I've managed to keep these leaves alive for over 12 months.
So these are the ones that were propagated with.
Yeah.
But I took propagations as well. You know, we propagated your whole plant. I took 3 with me and you kept the rest. Mine are doing significantly better. Sorry. No, but you know why? I've had them in my attic. So I have them in
living.
No, I had them in my attic and I also neglected over there. But I've had it in, it's not always about how much time you put into a plant. First and foremost about the conditions. You have them in a dark, like the Verrucosum doesn't like too much light, right? And it likes high humidity. This one, I would say, prefers it a little bit more on the dryish side and more light. So I had mine in my attic. With also a skylight, so it got it's right underneath it, not that far.
I can move it out here now.
Yep, and it's quite dry and hot in my attic because hot air rises. Where it would be cold, the coldest room, the wettest room.
Yes.
If you have it in this is perpetually wet. Like I can't really see any healthy roots in there. Whereas mine has rooted like crazy. Remember, it's the plant that has 26 roots growing up the moss pile.
I'm going to put it up outside.
So I think way less moisture. We also just cut off all of the leaves that has visual scale because they were old anyway.
Yeah.
I think it just, there's no point in treating it. But you need to give this significantly more light, I think.
So it's
and warmth.
Okay, it's going to move out here.
But it's a great one for that sort of setup, right? We can maybe see if it wants to trail or something like that instead of growing up a moss pile.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Now this is my second favourite plant in the collection. Ta-da!
What's your favorite?
Well,
Beautiful.
I can't believe you had to ask. So
we like to show everybody close up.
Queen
in the pot. Show them
Anthurium.
in the pot.
Oh, okay.
We want to see roots. Oh, look at that.
Told you. You didn't believe me in my skill with this. Look at this beautiful queen. This leaf, I cannot believe the size it comes out and the size it inflates to in the space of 2 weeks is just incredible. I'll stop going on about it, but just have a look at this root growth. Hopefully you can see it in that light. But it's one that I've been suggesting to SPG has been root bound for quite a while. But like, look at the width, like how healthy these roots are. Now the difference with this one, or the problem with this one, is that all the growth started coming out the side of the pot. And so I had to build up a backing at the back of it to hold the moss in and then keep the moss moist. But so it kind of needs, it really needs a repot, to be honest.
Yes. Reason we haven't repotted it is because we were going through winter and I just thought it's quite cold in Timmy's bathroom. I would rather wait a little bit until we had more consistent temperature. We still had 12 degrees a couple of days ago at night, right? So we're really only coming into the more reliably warm conditions now. During the day, not a problem, but plants also exist during the night, right? But definitely time for a repot.
Is this normal? See how it's curled up at the bottom of the leaf?
Yes, so what happened over here,
very careful,
do you want to show everybody that little bit?
Yeah.
So what would have happened over here is when that leaf comes out first, the leaf is like this big, you know what I mean? Like this big, obviously elongated. If there's even just a little dust particle that's causing damage, can you see this little scar? So it was basically scarred and then the scar tissue doesn't develop like the rest of the leaf. So that's where deformations come in and so on. So you need to be super, super careful with these leaves when they first come out. Remove some of the moss from the top over here, please. So we free up the roots and we can plant it deeper into the pot.
Well, it's got so many roots within the moss. This is the problem, right?
Yeah, just remove as much of the moss as you can. And I have a bit of aeroid mix prepared over here. It's quite tree fern fiber and cocoa peat heavy, so that it has better water retention. I mean, Timmy historically has been team overwatering, but Timmy also doesn't have as much time to water. So I'm aiming for a mix that has more water retention, so he needs to water less frequently. Amazing. Why don't we take it out, and then it's a little bit easier to free up all the
hold
roots.
it and I'll...
No, hang on. Just bang the side of the pot a little bit. Okay, I'm now freed up. This would have been in this pot for a long time. It's one of the original propagations from my queen, which would have happened 2 houses ago. So, what is that her?
Yeah.
What is she looking at?
I don't know.
Bailey!
She's looking at the front window.
Oh. Come here. So it would have been in this particular pot for, I would assume, 3 years.
I was going to say 3, yeah.
Hello, darling. Come here. Come here. Oh. So I think it can do with a proper up pot and like a new mix. Huh? Look at what your daddy is doing over there. Don't worry, we can go for walkies after, yeah? When we're done with all the planty stuff.
I thought you were going to edit.
Oh, you go for walkies, I'll go edit.
Okay.
Don't worry, your daddy's gonna take care of you.
Okay, is that enough? Any like that?
Turtle!
Children.
I would say get rid of more. Especially this moss. My concern is that this layer of moss is going to be in the pot.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to retain too much moisture. So, but at the same time, you're right in being diligent with the roots and not destroying them because we don't want to introduce too much.
There's a lot at the top, right? So.
Yeah. So what you need to do is you need to free up these roots from the side. And then you can get in there a little bit better. Timmy is gonna take Bailey for a little walk. I think she needs to poop. I'm just gonna work on this in the meantime. So gently removing the moss, but again, this moss has been quite old. I don't want it to cause potential rot issues. So I do want to remove it. I've always done that and I've never really had an issue with it. Am I being too harsh on this plant? Maybe.
Oh, wow. Oh, get out. Huh?
What?
How much roots there are in there.
All right, would you like to show everybody?
Yes. So, inside that clear plastic pot was all these roots. Look at that. That is crazy. I had no idea there was that much root growth in there.
Pop it in here. Was your walkie good, darling? Hang on. Perfect. And we want to have it kind of towards the back.
That's right,
right? Because all of the leaves will move forward. You want to hold it there and I'll top it up?
Sure.
And we do want to put a little top layer of moss. Can you
like try and hit the...
I'll try, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to put a top layer of moss, so I'm not filling the pot all the way.
Okay.
Would you like to do a little bit of...
Tap, tap.
Tap, tap, tap and bang, bang, bang?
Oh.
Bang, bang, bang.
Do I push it down or not?
No, no, no. We wanted to keep it nicely aerated.
Okay.
And now we need moss.
It's kind of pulling out of the spot.
Yeah, the moss is gonna fill that. Top layer of moss. And the roots really, really love that moss. I actually had mine on an aeroid mix pole for the longest time and it hated it. It grew so much better in moss. So yesterday or the day before, I converted my queen back into a moss pole.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think it just... Fascinating. There you go. For now, it's still kind of flush with the pot, but as the plant grows, you can start making more of a pile, right?
Yeah, and that'll condense more when I water it, right?
Yes.
I'm going to put this back in the bathroom because I don't want to put this near anything.
Okay, we shower this one in the shower. Really good. I mean, if you can keep a queen that happy, then you're definitely doing something right.
Oxalis triangularis. Oh no, you know the one he does all the shaking shit with? This is what I'm trying to get it to like really big like that. It's currently a dining room table display. It's just in a black pot, so I can't see how the roots are going. It's grown to such an extent that I think it looks nice as a table display.
It does. So there you go over here. Looks good.
And then here we have a newly rescued begonia. Now this was in the green wall. It was kind of a forgotten thing, but then I looked at it and thought, oh, actually, it does have some nice colour contrasts. So I thought, well, why not bring it indoors? And which is what I've now done. So, yeah, likes a fair bit of water, but very low maintenance, very easy to look after.
And this one, if you put it in lower light, it's going to be a little bit more bluish. If you put it in really high light, it might grow faster, but it's not going to have this beautiful, rich bluish sheen to it, which doesn't come on camera.
Very good. Okay.
Actually, I would say the Oxalis, I don't know why, is one of the plants that I never take outside to actually shower. I just shake it and that gets rid of all the dust.
Alrighty. Oh, what are you doing with those? No, this is my favourite baby. It's been a very long journey with this. It is probably, its origins are 6 years old.
They all came from the same cutting that a friend gave me like 6 years ago. So all variegated monsteras I've ever had grown, so they all came from the same mother plant. Timmy's has really nice variegation. Yours stays so small.
Yeah, I love
mine matures much more. I much prefer the juvenile look.
Shorter petioles, like nice for a corner plant. It gets good light, so it gets light here, but probably later in the morning when the sun's a bit higher, and then it's getting sort of reflected sun, so no direct sun from this northern window.
But in winter it gets a bit of direct sun actually.
Yeah, it does.
Which is fine, it's not so harsh in winter.
So
Interesting one, you've got it on an aeroid mix pole.
Yes.
Do you want to bring it a bit closer?
Not by choice, because I find aeroid mix is a pain to water, because you can't just do the upside down bottle technique.
You technically can, but it just runs through it instead of being neatly absorbed.
So this takes the longest to water because I need to wait for the bark to absorb water, and then I've got to go back a lot.
The plant doesn't mind the aeroid mix pole. It's rooted in there like crazy, right? So if you tilt it a little bit so the leaves don't take away the focus, perfect. See all of these roots, every node and in between the anchoring roots, the plant does not mind the aeroid mix pole. And the aeroid mix pole also gives us the same propagation benefits as a moss pole. Gives us the same insurance policy. It's an extension of the pot, right? The pot is also filled with aeroid mix, so it's actually a truer extension of a pot than anything else.
And there's a lot of new roots that have come out just in the last probably 2 months.
Nice.
I'd say.
Yeah. But it also needs to work for us, right?
Yeah.
So if we can make the watering experience easier for us, then we are more likely consistent with our watering, which means better success with the plant.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill the top with moss, so that as the plant now grows, it's eventually starting to grow on moss.
Yeah.
The next extension that we put on here will be moss and so on, right? This way around actually works quite well. I don't like it the other way around. If you have a moss pot and then you extend it with an aeroid mix pot, all of the dirt from the aeroid mix pot is just going to wash through the moss and going to make the moss kind of dirty.
Okay.
This way is going to be nice.
Yeah.
The moss is neatly going to funnel the water and then release it to the aeroid mix. But yeah, obviously it's long-term vision, right? But this way we're slowly going to convert it to a moss pole.
Yeah.
Meaning we will eventually chop it. Meaning, Timmy, would you like to start making some cuts at the lower part of the pole so that we are preparing for a chop and extend in maybe 2-3 months time?
Yes,
you know
let's
what
do
I mean?
it.
So we've
But
got...
you're going to cut it. I'm not cutting it.
Okay. Do you want to give me the scissors? So we've got... This is 3 grow verticals. Grow vertical 1, 2, and 3. Next time we do the chop, we're probably just going to use pole 2 and 3, plant it back up, put pole 4 on it. So we need to chop over here where these 2 poles meet. Actually, they meet here. So I'm going to chop here. Now the top is going to be one thing. It's not going to revert much, right? We're not really maturing this plant as it is. Bottom, we have the opportunity to make multiple chops and then turn the bottom into a lush pole, right?
Let's do that.
So we've made this one chop here. Now this plant, for example, this node does not have a root going into it. This one does though. So I'm only going to chop if I'm confident that the cutting has a well-established root going all the way into the pole. Let's cut here. That's good enough. And let's cut one more time here. Now Timmy's plant has really, really nice variegation. So I'm hoping that a lot of these reshoots are very highly variegated. All right, done.
Alrighty.
We should still take this outside and wash it as well.
Okay.
And if
I'll
you want
I'm going
to,
to leave it here for now.
yes, and if you want to, you can also trim a few of the bits off over here. We need to put a garden stake in there. Usually once we go 3 poles, we need a garden stake. Now that we chop the plant, we're taking away stability. Okay, do you want to put that in here? All the way to the bottom?
No. Okay.
There we go.
Then,
Worst case scenario, we just cable tie it. If you don't
well, I
want
was
to
just
drill it.
thinking, long cable ties.
Yeah, we need 2.
That's rain.
Is it? No, can't be. Yes. Shit.
I better bring the tools in.
Oh, but that's perfect. We can put the plants in the rain.
Yeah.
Do you want to start moving some plants in the rain while I do this?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, that should give it a little bit more stability. One other thing. Timmy's very good at using the chopstick trick as well to stop this from coming off, because the light is coming from the side for this plant. So the plant constantly wants to move this way. So we're putting the chopstick back into the pole over here so that the stem is attaching to the center. Right, I'll take this out. Ooh. 2 more plants. Yes,
Dubia.
So it grew really well for a long time and then it didn't, right?
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem was scale. Like, this has had massive scale infestations. I've contended, I've chopped off big bits, and then I think I discovered the culprit was the ants. So I've now been spraying it with, oh wow, look at this.
Yeah.
Not good, not good.
To be honest, I wouldn't
Can
even
you hold
bother.
that?
I wouldn't bother treating this.
No? Okay. I don't know if you can see here, but there's a whole lot of little black suckers. Can you see them? It's having trouble focusing.
So again, with this one, Timmy, I wouldn't just spray contender. It's not good enough because it has this little dome, you know what I mean?
But
You
I've been
really need to-
scratching them off and then...
No, but no, don't. You need to brush them off with that neem oil dish soap
Oh, okay.
solution. Timmy and I were both saying we really want to have a juvenile dubia back.
Yes.
And I think maybe
The time
today
has
is the
come.
moment to
Yeah,
do
we're
that.
just cutting all the leaves off.
I wouldn't say we cut all of the leaves off just yet, but I think we definitely want to cut between the stems a lot so we
Okay.
get a lot of reshoots, and then maybe it's a consideration to cut off all of the ugly infested leaves once they are new shoots.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that the new shoots don't get pests straight
Okay.
away.
All right.
But I reckon we're just gonna chop
You chop
between.
to your life.
No, this also looks like it might have something else, but it's kind of cute. At the top, I don't like to chop single nodes because they had the least time to root, right? So
Well, this whole thing is rooted in all the
yeah,
way.
but a lot of them are anchoring roots,
Oh.
not necessarily major water roots.
Oh,
major
okay.
water roots.
Major.
I reckon we can go between every node here. We have
Okay.
nothing to lose because I think at this stage, this maturity of it doesn't look that
It doesn't,
good.
I don't like it.
We both really want to have a shingling dubia again.
I want it more than you though.
Yeah.
I said it first. Like, it's so thick, isn't it?
So at least for now, the plant looks unchanged, right? You can't even tell that we're doing all of this. So you don't have like the ugliest plant in the world to look at for the foreseeable
It
future.
still feels like the ugliest plant in the world to me.
But-
like, look at this leaf. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
not a
just
leaf.
give it a moment and hopefully in a month's time we see lots of new shoots and then we can cut off all the other bits.
Okay.
Yeah? We cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times, which means we have 12 pieces, no?
Yeah.
See how we go.
Okay. Put this outside.
Alright, take this outside. I changed the batteries once again. Jeez, we're taking a long time. That's okay. Alrighty, Timmy, what have we got here?
This is, I'm going to run with Epipremnum, Pinnatum,
Variegata.
Variegata.
It looks really good, Timmy.
You reckon?
Oh, it has mealybugs.
It has everything.
I'm just doing a bit of cosmetic trimming over here.
Yeah. This has been really bad with scale too. But again, I found it was the ants. So I've sprayed for ants and it seems to have like really reduced the volume of pests.
Yeah, but you still need to do the little brushy
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to chop this one off, like some of these at the front?
Well, it's not looking bad.
Okay.
It's growing way off its pole. I don't know to what extent we should extend it because it's already reaching the top of your glass over here, right? Almost.
Yeah.
So I think...
Chop it?
No. This stem is quite thick.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to manipulate that easily. So what we do here is we need to go in iterations. So we can't go in one go. So for now, we're just going to use a cable tie. And we bring it a little bit closer. That's it. And then eventually, we can bring it a little bit closer again and again.
Okay.
Also, once this grows more, it's going to be easier to pin it back down, right? But again, we're not aiming for
Oh, I
maturity.
missed that whole new leaf up there.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to chop
Yeah,
it off
okay.
because it's going to look really nice.
Yeah.
They're growing really
Yeah, yeah.
nicely. I mean, look at them. They're good. We just
Yeah.
need to cut off a bit of the brown bits. Yeah, I think it's not a bad thing at all.
This-
The other thing I noticed is that a lot of your poles have a lack of support stakes, I think. That's why they're a little bit wonky in the
Yeah,
pots
I
and
know.
they're a little bit leaning forward.
That's why I bought new poles.
Yeah. But again, with 2, it's not that big of an issue. I think we'll be fine. I think that looks okay.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. It looks lush. We can take it outside.
Okay.
And that was the last plant. Do we want to extend the Splendid then? Is that the one that we turn into a bit of a statement piece? Or
And we put it over there.
are we waiting for the Glorious to come back and then turn that into a statement piece?
I think they're glorious.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea. Okay, last one, let's take it outside. Good opportunity for us to clean up a little bit and you guys to rest. So I'll see you when we are back with the design. We are back.
Hi guys.
And it's dark now.
Yeah.
Like it's getting really dark. I mean, not because it's so
had a
late,
thunderstorm.
but yeah, because we've had a little storm in between. But it's been dry for like 30 minutes or so now, so the plants should have had enough time to dry. So I was thinking, let's put the big plants here first. We put the table back, and then we have a look a little bit deeper into the room.
Sure.
Hello, baby. Hang on. Now we need to think about this. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes,
Look
you
at
said
that.
we're running behind.
We need to think about the plants that we have here. So this is the sunniest spot in your house.
Yes.
And over here the plant is really getting light from both sides. So it's great for a plant that's more 360. And overall, I think we should have plants over here. But girlie, what are you doing? Oh my God. I think we should have plants over here that we are planning on rotating. There's a little bit like, you know, trial and error involved as well. Where's the Monstera?
Ta-da! What do you think about the Addy there?
I think that could be nice. Actually, we forgot to show you this plant initially. We have a nice Adansonii over here, and I love how it's grown so round.
So see how that goes in that pot? Is it going to fit in that pot?
I think that actually looks quite nice and not too intrusive, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to rain again, so
Yeah.
we need to hurry up.
Yeah.
So that the plants don't get all wet again. Oh, here comes the storm.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
Yes, I really like this. Okay, let's move the table back.
Okay.
Oh, that thunder, huh?
Lightning. I put the Sodiroi back here because it's low height. And also the Scindapsus because it's low height. I like this to be like a lower area rather than floor to ceiling plants. Also means you can see the beautiful coastal shot of Mona Vale Pool.
Ugh, it was so much nicer when it wasn't raining non-stop.
Everything's wet.
Okay, should we just bring everything inside? Is that it?
Sorry, we were down the other end. We're back now.
We have this little section. That's kind of like a slightly bigger gap, right? And that's where you have one of these grow lights.
Yeah.
It makes nice light. But I wish it could be further back almost, because if we need to be strategic about it. Before you had the Manjula right in front of it and really like it illuminated like
light.
one leaf.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just not really spreading far
What about
enough.
if it was over here? Is that too far away from it?
Yeah, plus then you always walk through that beam of light. So I think we want to choose plants that don't, like these leaves come out so much. Over here we want leaves that are a little bit tighter. Like this over here. What else do we have? This one.
See, that's what I was thinking for down the end.
Okay,
Because it's all round like growth. And it's got light.
Yeah, but this one is nice and tight.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in that spot, you can have something lean in and it's not stealing, it's not competing with anything.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
Plus over here,
Quite helpful with this stuff.
you want them to be, see how one leaf is not getting all the light basically. So the light is not positioned right, or we need to.
Yeah, we can work on that once we get the right plant in there.
And this one is quite narrow as well, right?
Yeah.
So maybe put that one there. This one needs a bigger pot. So that's where maybe we need to switch these two pots around here.
It's perfect size planter. Oh, I think that looks great there. I think elevated is good.
Yeah. And see how they're like nice.
It doesn't look so crowded.
It doesn't look cluttered, right?
And the leaves have got a chance.
But I'm almost thinking we switch these two around because these two look very similar and this one looks very different, you know?
Yeah.
So, do we have a pot for this one?
How have we lost all these pots?
So with these plants, this is your rotating section. You want to rotate them.
Okay.
When you take them out, shower them, take them back, you rotate them around.
Put them back in the other position. Okay.
So we are now advancing to the corner that's not so bright.
And it's always thrived there.
Now, yes, but I'm thinking the lower to the ground, the more light actually it gets.
Okay, so we put it on the ground?
I think so. Because of where the windows are quite low, you know what I mean? They're like my height, and the sun is going to shine down. So in the morning, the sun is going to rise there and shine onto the floor, and the floor reflects light as well. So if you put it lower, and we're really already in a light challenged spot, you know what I mean? So I think, you can maybe elevate it a little bit if we have like a, you know how we sometimes have a planter on a planter, do like the hourglass style.
On Bunnings.
But it's okay, I think that's good. At least we have a bit of greenery in this side. And then, this is pretty dark. We actually do want to get rid of this couch eventually. Probably, right?
Yeah.
And because it's a lot of couch. I am thinking we should just have a plant in that corner there, right? Beautiful. I think that looks good.
Yeah.
And we can extend it. Ideally, you would want this light source to pretty much be here, which is not very good because now it's in the way of the TV, it's reflecting on the TV, and I can't just have it here on the couch. No. But once we get rid of the couch, it'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
And like imagine you have it here, you can even have another plant next to it over there. But I think it works for now, but see the vision, if we would have 2 or 3 plants there, you know what I mean? What about we put the dubia in that ugly corner?
Yeah, okay. It's good, keeps it away from the other plants too.
For now, it looks good there actually, you know what I mean? Whereas before it was annoying, now we actually... What, has this always been here?
Yeah, but it goes back.
Ah, okay, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, plain.
How do you feel about replacing this grow light with this grow light?
It's too hard on my eyes if I'm working at my desk.
What about this way?
Yeah.
I just feel like this one sticks out so much.
Yeah, okay.
I bumped into it many times already, actually. I think that looks good, and it illuminates a larger area.
It's my lightsaber. It has built-in sound effects. It only works when I do it though. Yeah.
Look at this turtle, honestly, but the turtle has looked like that on day 2, right? And now it's like what? It's almost been a year, I reckon, since you've had the turtle. You love the turtle, don't you? Do you want to come up here? No, come. So, how do you feel?
Like a twoies.
Should I take them on a little browse first, actually, before we sit down and wrap it up?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
So, that's it. That's where we're sitting. I like that when you walk in here now, there's a little bit of greenery on the left to balance it out, right? There's a lot on the right coming from the window as well. There's a little bit of greenery coming in here. And then when we walk in, there's a little bit of greenery over there. Imagine just having 2 or 3 plants. Imagine having them extended. You can see where the light hits, there's potential for a lot more plants there. So imagine just having 2 or 3 over there. Mwah. Definitely balances out the room a little bit. So it's not just all the light, all the greenery is here, and this is just darkness. Then we've got a very, very cute baby down there. Hello. See your turtle? She always wants to play with the turtle, but she doesn't want to give up the turtle.
No.
And then really nice progression into the garden. And if you haven't seen the video about the garden,
look at the limes.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Get closer.
It looks really good, huh? Looks so good, Timmy.
Thank you.
Now over here, this corner I think was a bit cramped. I think the dubia just made it a bit cramped. Yeah. I think the Adansonia is very nice and simple. I think we can even almost push this over a little bit more.
This one?
Yeah. And I think this is the perfect height. I don't think, like, we can't exceed the white part, right? Because once they touch the window, they burn.
Yeah.
Talking about burning, that Monstera behind you is about to get burned tomorrow morning, so I think you need to rotate it a little bit more. And yeah, that looks really good. So we've got the big glorious there. This is not the space for the glorious to be going forward. I would like to have this glorious next to the Splendid. But we're waiting for it to reshoot, and then we do a new pole and all that jazz. Yeah.
Make the magic happen.
Over here we've got the Atabapoense. Just ease up on watering. This spot should help with that. And then,
well, because it's been in the shower the whole time, it just gets wet all the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a terrible spot to put it in. And then if it kind of runs away, we're just gonna just keep twisting it around. We might not aim for really large leaves, but I even think these leaves are super cute. Imagine you just have a whole lot of these tiny leaves, right?
Yeah.
Like basically this by an Atabapoense. Imagine, cute,
Lovely.
right? The Manjula over here is going to be a good spot because we're trailing it up and down, so it's going to get light from all sides.
And we've taken a lot of...
And the goal is to eventually get rid of the mature leaves, right? That's why we cut in between the stems a little bit, just to get a few more shoots, and then the mature leaves are just to establish new plants. But the goal is for the plant to not stick out that much. You want it to be compact.
Yeah.
Don't go any further than the cabinet, for example, right? So it's more like a compact side over here. And then over here, same thing. We're just twisting everything around to keep everything compact. Just a short-term solution. It's not a long-term solution, but you know, better than nothing. Same over here. I think it looks great. And this area over here, we also just cleaned up a little bit. So you have just 3 distinct plants. Yeah, does each plant look amazing? Not yet. We're getting
like
there.
That spatially, it looks a lot better.
It doesn't look so cluttered.
Yeah.
And I like that it's like a nice little bloop, bloop, bloop progression of pots. Like, it just looks nice. And then we've got the Dubia over there. Again, not the right spot for it, but we're really just waiting for it to reshoot and shingle and be juvenile. And again, I think this over here looks so good.
I love that.
You know, looks really good. And I suppose you just need to set up the schedule so that when you watch TV, which is much later in the night anyway, it's not on anymore. So that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think one day soon we'll move the TV over a little bit, the bracket. That gives us a little bit more room there. Then we can just have another plant on either side.
Yeah.
So I think 3 plants, again, or 2, depends on how big they
this
are.
big chunky piece of the lounge.
And then we choose that part of the lounge as well. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. It's just so much seating.
It is.
Nobody needs that much seating. Alrighty, and then we're back. Come on. So, my darling. So, how do you feel about things? Do you feel good?
I feel great. It's been a very productive day.
Nice.
I think internally, I think it's the biggest transformation, and I'm so happy. I've got rid of all the clutter. Like, we've made decisions about replacing the plants. We've we've cut them so we can propagate, get new growth down the bottom rather than all the growth being at the top. And we've solved multiple lighting issues, but I feel really happy, so thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
It's a great thing.
I was honestly surprised at how little work we actually had to do, right? I think we only repotted the queen, we didn't do any extensions and so on. If you compare that to previous episodes, we did way more work, but that's because we had we had a different agenda, right? We were aiming for plants to mature. You're like, I want to have a plant that looks just like yours, right?
Yeah, instantly.
And to get plant to maturity, you constantly need to extend them so they don't grow off of the pole, right? Because you're losing or you're not realizing the potential. You need to repot them if they outgrow the pot because, you know, more space gives them more potential to mature. You need to constantly optimize their lighting situation and so on, right? So you can't have setbacks with pests and so on. But since we changed the approach to be like, let's just aim for not even maturity, just lushness, you know, it is way less effort, takes way less resources, and you're more successful with it, right? Like most of the stuff that we've done today was actually just cutting plants so that they reshoot, so they get lusher over time.
And we didn't chuck any out. I haven't killed any.
Yeah, no, everything was good. So I think really when we did that switch sometime last year, where we just like, okay, we're actually just aiming for the wrong thing. I don't think you're allowed on the table, darling.
No.
I think you're aiming for the wrong thing. Once we switched that,
Yeah.
everything worked better, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
agree.
that's a great lesson for everybody. I'm not saying you need to aim for what I'm aiming for or what you're aiming for. You might be aiming for something completely different, but as soon as you are clear on what you're aiming for, and you know what you're aiming for is also realistic,
Yeah.
then you're going to have more success.
Also, you tailor your care plan
Exactly.
differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I think that was really like the standout thing that we did. Like we actually just realized what we should be aiming for.
Yeah.
What is realistic with your space, your challenging lighting situation, your, let's say, like experience with plants and your dedication to it, right?
Yeah.
You are not as dedicated to plants as I am, which is fair. It's not your job, you know,
Yeah.
you shouldn't. You have other things that you need to prioritize first. And I would definitely be aiming for different things as well if it wouldn't be my job. So
Yeah.
I think that was pretty good. And then I think the second thing is really that all of these plants technically cost you nothing, you know what I mean? So what? Like, I know you're laughing about it, but like if somebody wouldn't know you and me and whatever,
Yeah.
and they just come in here, if you just have normal guests walking in,
Yeah.
right? They would assume that you spend a lot of money on plants
Yeah.
for your garden as well as indoors. Where really you don't need to spend that much money on plants if you make connections. And okay, maybe you're a bit more fortunate than the average person out there, but still most of the plants that I even have that I then passed on to you were plants that I got from swaps.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
you know, that I swapped with plants early on in my journey. Like when I wanted a plant, or let's say like I wanted 2 plants, I would ask a friend, hey, why don't you go buy that plant? I go buy that plant. We propagate the plant, we switch it. Now we have 2 for the price of 1, right? So even a lot of plants that I had that I then chopped and passed on to you,
Yeah.
they didn't even cost me anything in
Yeah.
the first place,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't get them for free because I have followers. Well, I didn't have any followers back then. That's just the way that it went. But it takes time, right? A lot
Yeah.
of these plants have been with me for like 6 years or so,
Yeah.
right? Not that particular leaf, obviously,
Yeah.
but the DNA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we went through many ups and downs, right? There were plants that were thriving like crazy, then I put them in your space and they
died.
didn't like it, or vice versa. I killed my Atabapoense, but you kept yours alive. I took a piece back. Now mine is thriving again, and
Yeah.
yours isn't thriving quite
Yeah.
as much, and so on. But that's normal with
She's a
plant care.
killer.
But that's normal with plant care. You know, they go through ups and downs, but it's more enjoyable if you share the journey with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
You share the DNA with somebody. It's not about possessing. It's really about spreading the love, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I think that's a good learning, because I think for a lot of people it feels like really overwhelming. You're like, how am I ever going to live in the jungle without spending hundreds or thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
And it's like, time.
Yeah.
You got to stay patient
patience,
and make
yeah.
time, patience, and make connections in the plant community. And
Yeah.
maybe we can use the comment section to help out with that. You
Yeah.
know, in the comment section down below, why don't you leave a comment saying whereabouts you are, and then maybe you find other people commenting about your hometown, and then maybe you guys can connect somehow, or like build somewhat of
Swap
a
some
community
plants, yeah.
that's not just online, but that's a little bit more personal
Physical.
as well. Yeah.
No, I think simple is better. Like,
Yeah, less is more.
Yeah.
I'm more and more getting that way as well, where I was like, actually, I don't need to just have so many plants. Like
with massive velvet leaves. Yeah.
Sometimes like just having one and actually giving the plant space to live
No.
works out better. Anyway,
Alrighty. Well, thanks.
if you watched all the way, maybe leave a little turtle emoji. We
Turtle,
gotta go
yeah.
turtle emoji. Turtle. Where's your turtle? Look, your turtle is down there.
Yeah. Where's the turtle?
Like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment. Ignore my terrible throw, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.